FlossTube, Stephanie here, Ms. Oh So Crafty. Welcome back, or hello if you're new. This is video number 11 for me, and it is Thursday, June 16th, around 1:30 p.m. And how is everybody doing today? I'm doing all right. It's been kind of a long week for me. Yeah, but I have been stitching and it's been like 3 weeks since my last video, so I do have a lot to show you, and I'm planning to do so I'll do a whip update. I have an FO to share, and I'm going to share some FFOs as well, and I'm going to do a tag, I think, and I have some stash, so let's get started. I guess we'll start with the whips, so excuse me. Right after the video, I worked on something I finished, so we'll skip forward in time a little bit. I worked on The Castle by Teresa Wentzler. I will insert a pic of what it looked like before, and here is what it looks like now. So this is stitched on 28 count Castle View Cashel by Silk Weaver, and I did this part of the castle, the towers, the turrets, and all that, and I cleaned up all the threads I had parked, which allowed me to start a little bit of the dragon up here. You can see like right there, and his hand, his claw right there, and a little bit, that will be his neck coming up. So here's like the close-up view. The dragon is done with a lot of metallic blending filament. You might be able to see a little bit of that sparkle. So this piece is coming along. I'm pretty much where I wanted to be for the year. I guess the rest of my effort on this for this year, I will try to backstitch this rocky cliff portion. And every rock, every little cleft in the rock is outlined, so it will be a fair amount of work. But I'm really happy with this. I spent 5 days on it, and it was cool. I didn't stitch these windows in the top tower here because those are the ones that are lit up, and I just didn't have the floss handy, so I'll get to that later. But I really love how this piece is coming out, and it is a pain to stitch, a lot of fractionals, a lot of blends. This was my first Wine and Whips piece. But I'm glad that I started it, and I think I will finish it probably next year. So happy with that. And I love the fabric that I chose for it too. I wanted something that would suggest water and sky, and I think I pretty much got it with this blue-white mottled fabric. Really pretty. Well, okay, so that's it for the castle, and then after those 5 days in the castle, I put in 2 days, or weekend equivalent, on the 12 days of Christmas. I will insert I'll insert a pic of what it looked like before in the pattern photo, and here's where I am now. So it's getting big. Back it up a little. There we go. So this is stitched on 32 count white with silver sparkle from Fabric Flair, which is a cotton rayon blend. I think it's a very soft fabric, but the sparkle business, there is no real sparkle. So if I could do it again, I'd probably buy an opalescent fabric. And what I did this past time is I worked on this central block here, the partridge, and I started the swan, and I did some more like outlines. So it's coming along. Again, not bad for 2 days. I mean, this area was full coverage, so a lot of stitching there. This is by Joan, Elliott, and I got it in a Design Works kit, but I swapped out the fabric. I mean, I actually feel like the fabric that came in the kit was 14 count Aida, and considering how many fractionals are in this piece, I think it would be ridiculous to stitch it on Aida. So I'm really glad I switched out the fabric. So there are, you know, these 2 blocks here and here, and then there's going to be 3 blocks at the bottom, and then that's it. So next month, I'm planning to bring this out and spend a whole week working on it for Christmas in July. So my basic goal is for the week is to finish the swan and stitch these 2 blocks and then back stitch these 5 blocks, this whole area, and extend the borders down, of course. My lofty goal is to do that as well as sketch out the last 3 blocks and get those started as well. And it would be awesome if I could get some stitching in each one of them. So, or at least one of them finished. So we'll see. I do want to finish this project this year, so we'll see where I am after the week next month. I mean, I'm not doing bad. The halfway mark was like, I mean, I'm more than halfway done now, I think. So, not bad for mid-June, I guess. But I don't want to be working on a whole lot in December either, so I'll try to, we'll see how far I get in July, and then maybe I can, you know, pick up the pace a little. I don't know, we'll see. So after those 2 days, it was time for another Wine and Whip. And the second project I chose for that was the Mask of Colors Quick Stitch by Heaven and Earth Designs. I will insert a photo of what it looked like before and the pattern. And here is my whip. This is stitched on 22 count Lugana, full cross, 2/1. And as you can see, it's pretty close to finished. All that's left is less than 1,000 stitches. So I was like right here to start with, so I stitched her arm and her hand and her chest area, her necklace and the rest of her face, and this purple like sash thing she's wearing over her shoulder. So I worked on this for 7 days, and it's coming along. I think it might take another like 3 or 4 days to finish. So I'm going to mix up my Wine and Whip plans a little bit, but I'll get to that in a bit. And then after those 7 days, I picked up my third Wine and Whip, which is the Maiden and the Unicorn. I will insert a pic in my previous progress. And I've only worked on this like a few hours so far, so not a whole lot of progress, but I can show you what I did. So I've been working on this border here, and what I did last night, is I put in I finished the green, and I extended the navy and blue a little bit over here, and I put in 2 colors of red in the flowers. So what I have left to do for this border is the bottom border anyway, is to do 1 more color of red and then a little bit of gold, which is like the center of the flowers, like right there, for example, and right there. And I anticipate that would only take like an evening, and then I'll go back to the dress. The dress will be much easier to stitch, and that'll be a lot of fun. And depending on how far I get on the dress, I might work this border up a little bit, because my goal for this year is to finish the bottom half of the project, so that would mean working the bottom border, working this side of the border up to the same place where it is on the other side over here, and of course finishing the dress and the base of the unicorn and all that. So this project is slow going because of all the fractionals in the border, but it's just the type of thing where you have to tackle it. I mean, the fabric choice doesn't help. I'm stitching this on 36 count antique white Edinburgh. Really should have used 28 for it, but I didn't know what I was doing when I picked up this fabric, so. But it is really pretty. So, yeah, we'll see how far I get this week. I will probably have to take it out again at some point this year to accomplish my yearly goal for it. It would be nice to finish it next year, but no promises. Alright, so now we will get into my FO. So right after the video, I started backstitching my Joan Elliott Air Goddess, and I finished her. I beaded and everything, managed to get it in by the 31st of May, so that was cool. Here she is. She's pretty big. This is stitched on 32 count Ariel Belfast from Picture This Plus, and I started her in January. So sorry about the light. It's really bright in here at the moment. So it was a fun stitch, and love the colors in this. I did very nearly get burnt out on the back stitching at the end though. All these little like designs and the wrap almost did me in. They're done in Krennic. The beading wasn't bad though. It's just 2 colors of beads, and most of them are pretty easy to place. The beading only took like a couple hours, I think, maybe like 4 hours or so. So my favorite, let's do some close-ups. My only mod to this was I changed up some of the back stitching. Some of the back stitching in this pattern is done like in the stair step method where you outline every square, and I just don't really like that look for this sort of pattern, like the elegant lady thing. I prefer to smooth out those angles, so that's what I do. And I love how you can see like her little hint of her arm there, like the translucence of the sleeve. That's cool. And I think she's really pretty, the way she's like looking up at the sky and everything with her eyes closed. I'm sorry, she's not looking up. She's just blissfully basking in the breeze, let's say. And I like her necklace. I think that's really pretty, and the beaded trim on her dress. And then this wrap that she has on her dress. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the zodiac symbol for the Aquarius is backstitched on there with the gold, confetti gold Krennic. And then moving down, her wrap, more wrap, her dress. There, her lovely feet. She's on point like a ballet dancer. There's a lot of backstitching in the this petticoat area too. So this right there, that is the zodiac of the Libra, and then this one is Gemini, and then this one is Aquarius. And there's a more like of the translucence thing going on here, so you can see a little hint of her leg through her petticoat. There's my signature down at the bottom. So I really love this piece, and I'm so happy that she's done. My goal was to finish her by the end of June, and I managed to do it by the end of May, so that was cool. And I'm looking forward to starting the next one, which is Air Goddess. My goal will be to finish her this year as well by, December 31st. So it's very fun to start on this series. I love a whole series because it's just like so much, a real like substantial project, and when it's done, it's going to be awesome. So I'm happy, and I will insert a video clip I made of some Joan Elliott FFOs. Hi FlossTube friends, welcome to my back staircase. I wanted to show you my Joan Elliott FFOs. This is her seasonal fairy series. These I stitched in 2013, and they were my first patterns by Joan. So you can see winter at the top, and then spring, summer, and fall. And let's get close, and I'll give you some close-ups and details. So first, I stitched winter, and she's stitched on 32 count Karma Belfast from Silk Weaver. Started her in January, finished her in March. It took 2 months. And my plan for this was to stitch 1 per quarter to finish all in 2013, which I stuck with that, although I did make some mods I'll explain later. So this one, she was a lot of fun. First pattern by Joan that I did, and I totally fell in love with her aesthetic. I even love stitching that white wrap thing. It was really beautiful with several different shades of white. So close up on her face. gorgeous like headdress and her little like crystal ball type thing that she's holding is cool. I love her jeweled midriff, and the colors in this piece are just gorgeous. And the details, the bunny is really cute. So that was a lot of fun. And then next I worked on, oh yeah, and these I mounted and framed. So this one, it has a white inner mat, a like dark purple, imperial purple outer mat. And then this frame is like a dull gold color with a beaded inner edge and some rope detail, also some raised relief floral detail. I had to sort of compromise on my frame choice because I wanted to use the same one for all of them. I am pretty happy with how it turned out though. So next is spring, and I stitched her on 32 count purely primitive Belfast by Silkweaver, and that was, it's a bit more green than it appears here. So I framed her with a crimson inner mat and a pickle outer mat. The greens are kind of desaturated, sorry. So this one, it took me 3 months from March through the end of June, and close up on her face, her lovely wings and cute little bunny and bluebird, love that. The folds of her dress I think are so cool, the way they're back stitched and everything, almost gives a 3D effect, and she's barefoot, how cool is that? I love her little toes. The bird with the eggs in the nest I think is the cutest thing ever, and the mushrooms were a lot of fun to stitch, so I really enjoyed this one. And then around the time that I was working on this, I found out that I was pregnant, and I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't be able to stitch in my 3rd trimester because I stitched in a recliner and I was worried that my belly would get in the way. So that didn't actually, it was fine. I stitched almost up until the end, but in any case, I decided to move up the schedule to try to finish the series by October, when I would enter my 3rd trimester. So next I worked on summer, and I started her in June, finished in, I started her in July, finished in mid-August, so it was 6 weeks. This is stitched on Summer Breeze, Belfast linen by Silkweaver, and she's framed with a evergreen inner mat and a mid-blue outer mat. And a little close up, I think she has the prettiest face. I just love her. Nobody does faces quite like Joan, in my opinion. And I love how she's holding the flower and smelling it. I think that's really cool. And the seashells and starfish in her hair. I like her little bandeau top and her midriff, so cute. And the sandy beach she's standing on with the fish and the shells and everything. Pretty cool. And then last but not least, autumn. I started this one in mid-July, finished by the end of September, so I did indeed make my deadline. And she stitched on Golden Harvest Belfast from Silkweaver, a like peat, like coffee brown, espresso brown, whatever, inner mat, and sort of a spice colored outer mat. And this one I was probably the least excited about stitching based on the pattern photo, but when I got into it, I found it had a gorgeous like rainbow of colors, and I did really enjoy it in the end. So we'll get closer. So I love the apple detail that she's holding, and her headdress is pretty cool. And the sparkly vines, the leaves, all the vines are in an orange krennic. And detail at the bottom. More apples. Yeah, so when I was picking out the fabrics for these, I tried to make color depth sort of my unifying feature. So they're all on different fabrics, obviously, but I wanted to achieve like a similar tone depth with each of them, and I'm happy with the way they turned out, and they definitely got me hooked on Joan's patterns. Alright, back to the main video. Bye! Okay, so now I think I'll do the stash enhancement tag from Katie the Stash Queen. Thanks for the tag, Katie. So I have the questions on my phone. Excuse me for looking down. The first question is, what is your favorite pattern in your stash that you haven't started yet? What has kept you from starting it? My favorite pattern in my stash that I haven't started yet is King Arthur's Court by DMC. Isn't that cool? So much detail in there. Of course, you've got Merlin, Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot, and you've got crests and dragons and a castle and a ship, crown, swords, and so cool. Why haven't I started it? Okay, well, and it's also my favorite because I feel like I need to stitch this because I live in a place called Camelot, a neighborhood, and I feel like this would be so perfect, like in my living room. I have this like angel hanging in there now that I would just like to move somewhere else because I'm just sick of looking at it. I stitched it a long time ago, like in high school, so the time has come to switch it up for something new. So the reason why I haven't started it yet is that it is a substantial project, a large project, and I just don't really have room in my rotation for it at the moment. I already have a lot of things on the go, and I have more plans. I already had to like revise my plans for 2016 just because I feel overwhelmed by my whip count. So what I decided is that I'm only going to start small, medium to small projects here on out, unless I finish something large, then I can put in another large one. But I want to get my whip count down, so adding another big project in isn't the way to do it. This thing is 223 by 272 stitch count, or 20 by, or 18 and a half by 15 and a half, 116 count. So pretty big, but it will be worth it, and I think I'll start it probably in January of 2017. The next question is, what is your favorite non-pattern item in your stash? Well, that is an easy question. This. This is my scroll frame and lap stand. The lap stand is from Case Creations, and this is the medium adjustable base. And this works great for most stuff. For a fat quarter mounted like vertically, like in portrait orientation, this will do it. And then these scroll bars, these are like, I guess, 18, 20 inches or whatever. And the scroll frame is from American Dream Products, and I might, these things are not really made to go together, the K's and the American Dreams. So what I did, I think, is I just drilled a hole through the side of the sidebar here, so I could mount it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I did. But I love it. I like these nice knobs, you know, they're nice and smooth and stuff. So that's cool, and the Velcro on the scroll frames is really nice because it's very easy to take your project on and off. So that's nice, and I get a lot of use out of this thing. I use it almost every day. I have a couple other stands. I have the large size, which is, well, wider obviously, but being a lap stand, you can use the large size in your lap, but it's not really all that comfortable. This is like more comfortable. And I also have the Z frame, which is better for smaller projects. Okay, so the next question is, what do you have the most of in your stash? Patterns, floss, fabric, or other bead, etc.? The answer to that is definitely patterns. I buy patterns more than I should, I guess, and I've been stashing them for a long time, and my logic on it was, well, you know, they're just pieces of paper, they store flat, you know, but it gets to the point when you have like so many of them, they do start taking up a lot of space. I still haven't shared my pattern stash. I'm gonna have to do that someday, but it's gonna be like probably multiple videos just because I have like so much. All right, number 4. Besides your LNS and the big box craft shops, what is your favorite place to buy stitching supplies? I'm gonna say 123 Stitch, just because they have like a great selection of stuff and they have really fast shipping, and you can order. It's, you know, internet shops. You can order 24/7, and it's cool. And number 5, name one item that you have purchased that was not meant for cross stitch that you have repurposed for your craft. Well, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff like that, but one thing that I did buy recently is this little case. I got this from Michael's. It's like a scrapbooking thing, but it works great for taking like stitching stuff. I actually got it for the retreat to like put in my like bead packs and stuff like that, but I'm still using it, as you can see. There's a tacky bob in there, and there's some krennic and a needle case and all sorts of stuff. Some scissors, some stitch bows. Nice little case, and it has the it closes with these latches, you know, so you don't have to worry about things spilling out. That's cool. All right, number 6. Name one item in your stash that you were unable to purchase after seeing someone else with the item. Well, recently, just about everything. And I see something on FlossTube or on Facebook, and I'm like, ooh, I've got to have it. One example, I saw this book on Brittany Blimey Cat Stitches channel, and I picked it up on Amazon for a song. I love buying these books on Amazon. But I'll get to that in a minute when I show my stash positions. Number 7, if someone had asked you what was the one pattern that they had to have in your stash, what pattern would you recommend? I can't answer that question. I feel like stitching is a very individual thing, and everyone has their own personal aesthetic, so, but, I mean, I really love Mirabilia, and I feel like those are gorgeous patterns, really special with all the beadwork and everything, so, and they are, you know, a nice, like, challenge if you're used to stitching, like, smaller type stuff, so I might say one of those, but, I mean, even that, it's still not everyone's aesthetic. But I will say that they don't judge them based on the pattern photos. They stitch up much prettier in real life. So if you ever, like, you can get to an LNS and see one on the wall, on the stitched up as a model or something, or, you know, see it on FlossTube or whatever, you'll get a better idea of what they look like. So the last question is number 8. It is, if someone had asked you what one designer they had to check out to enhance their stash, who would it be? I'm going to say Joan Elliott. Joan is a very prolific designer, and she just has so many different things, everything from, like, you know, ethnic to, like, elegant, ladies, fashion, historical, cute stuff, teddy bears, and, like, inspirational stuff, and holiday stuff, like, just about everything, you know, within her repertoire. So check her out, and definitely, like, check out go to her website. She sells all the patterns, like, via chart packs there. But I will say that there is another way to obtain a lot of her patterns, and that's in vintage magazines. So if you do a little research, figure out where they were published originally, you may be able to pick up some bargains, which is what I've been trying to do. So with that, I will get into my stash positions. Let's see. The first thing I got was this Carousel Horses and Cross Stitch book by Donna Cooler, and I'm not going to show you every pattern because Brittany Blimey Cat did a very detailed review of it. I'll just show you the ones that I like best. So this is the reason I got the magazine, this Halloween carousel horse. How cool is that? I love that. I really want to start this. Maybe, I don't know. Is it a big project? I mean, it's not huge. All the patterns in this book are the same size. 152 by 169. I mean, that's a fairly big project, I guess. Works out to be 10 7/8 by 12 1/8. But that's on 14 count, so I would probably do it on 16. I'd say it's medium to large. Anyway, so here's the Christmas horse. Season's greetings with Santa in there, and a Christmas tree, and some teddy bears, and toys, and the nutcrackers, and the candy canes. Love that. I think it's really cool. And then, lastly, the Dandy July Patriot. This is obviously a 4th of July type horse with the American flag there, and the, what does it say? America. And the eagle at the top, and the Liberty Bells, and the stars. Very cool Oh, and there's even apple pie. And a watermelon. So that's a nice patriotic thing. There's not a whole lot of like 4th of July patterns out there, so that would be fun. And then I heard on Facebook that the Siba Designs Etsy shop was closing due to changes in Turkish law. And what's up with that? Like, what sort of like law would make it like impossible for someone to have an Etsy shop? That's so not cool. And I'm really sorry that her shop had to close, but I did take advantage, and I got this like geometric snowflake design and a dimensional Christmas ornament, and I will insert pics here. They're digital patterns. And then what I did is I bought the CDs for the just cross-stitch Halloween issues, and those are quite a treasure trove. I got them on clearance. So maybe I'll insert a couple pics of my favorites.
Dancing in the Moonlight by Praiseworthy Stitches. Trick or Treat by Sharon Pope. Sail at the Bubbling Cauldron by Praiseworthy Stitches. Goblins Come to My Door by Angela Pullen. Edgar Allan Poe Sampler by Angela Pullen. Spirited Mandala by Ink Circles. Witch and Friends by Donna Giampa. Halloween Pumpkin by Sharon Pope. The Town of Halloween by The Primitive Hare.
And then I also got this one, the Christmas Ornaments 2015 special issue. I'm sure everyone has seen this, but I'll just show you my faves. So I really like this one. Baby's First Christmas. Isn't that cute with a little candy cane button? I might stitch that for my son and, backdate it to 2014. And what else? There's this snowman. I think that is just really cool and unique. Definitely not your typical cross-stitch ornament. Very cute. I might change up the colors a little bit to make it more like Christmassy, but I don't know. And how about, what's on this page? Oh yeah. Number 10, the blue Kesslins, little like barrel shaped thing. I think that's really cool. Very pretty. And this one, number 8, this like black work type thing with the tassel and everything. I think that's really pretty. That's by Patricia Ann Designs. So the Baby's First Christmas thing is designs by Lisa, and I've actually stitched something by her before. I did the Viking ship for my husband as a wedding gift. I'll have to show you guys that someday. And then the snowman was It's Finally Finished by Fiona Flake. So, and then I got a few more vintage magazines and 2 Mirabilia patterns from this lady who is destashing because she has some chronic health issues that prevent her from stitching. It's very sad, but I'd like to think I'm helping a little bit by buying her stash. So this is Cross Stitch Gold issue number 20. The reason I bought it is for this cover pattern here, The Tree of Life by Joan Elliott. Isn't that cool? So this one has a number of goodies. A Summer Stroll by Susan Bates. Very cool design with poppies. Here's The Tree of Life. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love that border. It's so pretty. And that was Joan Elliott, of course. Here's another Joan Elliott. Native American Brave. Gorgeous design. She did a coordinating one in Native American Maiden as well. Another thing I really like in this issue is the Underwater Wonder, and that's from Anchor. Really pretty big design with the whales and the anchor and everything. Very cool. And finally, the Spirit of Africa by Leslie Tier. Really cool, dramatic nighttime design. Mom and child, very cool. Love that. And then I also got this Cross Stitch Gold, issue number 4, March 2008. The reason why I bought it is this, the Joan Elliott Victorian Dollhouse. I saw this on Running Stitches YouTube. Hi Elizabeth, if you're watching. Her whip is gorgeous. And I felt the need to add this to my stash. Not sure when I'm going to stitch it, but it's definitely on my bucket list. And I also like this one. This is the Swan by Doreen Jones. Very pretty tapestry style design. Elegant Swan it's called. And then this one, Anchor Unicorn, stitched on black. I love that. I love the dramatic nature of it, the unicorn running down the path and the castle in the background. And so cool. I definitely want to stitch this one day. And I think I can handle it, you know, being on black because it's 16 count Asian, it's not so bad. So here is the Elephant Cushion by Susan Bates. Gorgeous design if you're into like Asian art or whatever. Really nice. And finally, the Blackwork Chessboard by Anne McGregor. So that is pretty cool, although I don't know if I'd actually want to use it as a chessboard. And then also from that lady who is destashing, I got a couple Mirabilia patterns at a very reasonable price. This is Archangel. I saw one of my roommates from the Vermillion retreat stitching on this, and I've always liked the pattern, but after seeing her stitching it, that kind of like solidified it for me. I had to add it to my stash. And then this one, Lily of the Woods. I saw this on the lovely Array's channel. Hi Mackenzie, if you're watching. And I love the cherry blossoms that are in the blooming all around her. The area where I live has a lot of cherry blossoms in the springtime, so I feel like she could be my local fairy. So that's it for my stash, and I guess I'll get into a little bit my plans. So what I'm going to do is, this week, is I'm going to work on the Maiden, the Unicorn, and I'm also going to put in a couple days on the Love with a capital L. And I'm going to switch up my plans, I guess, for the last week of Mania. I was planning to work on my Merlin and Author whip, really UFO, which I haven't touched in 9 years, but I'm not feeling it. And, you know, if he's sat for 9 years, he can sit a little bit longer, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on Mask of Colors a bit more, because that project is so close to finish. So I need to bang it out, you know. I mean, it's less than 1,000 stitches. I can do that in a day or two, a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days. So I'll do that, and then I'm also going to work on my Summer Bell pull, because that, I could whine about that one. I mean, I'm whining because I had to frog everything I did on the day I started it, because I placed it wrong, and I'm also whining because it's just, it's so darn big, you know. And I really want to finish like at least half of it, you know, this year. So that would be 3 blocks. It's 6 blocks in all, SUMMER. So I'll try to finish the S and do the U and the M. And I hope I can finish at the very minimum. When I work on it this month, I want to finish that S and get a decent start on the U. So we'll see what I have time for and how far I get. And then in July, I will be doing the Christmas in July stitch along with the cross stitch finish line, and I have 4 projects that will rotate like by the week. 2 of them are smalls, and I'm hoping to finish them off. So that would be nice to have a couple FOs if I can manage to bang it out. So that's it for my stitching, and if that's what you came for, thank you for watching. I thank you guys who leave comments and subscribe and hit the thumbs up. You guys are just so sweet, and I love you all. So happy stitching, everyone, and I'll see you in a few weeks. If you're interested in my knitting, I do have something to share, and that is the sweater that I'm wearing. So this is a cardigan sweater. It's called Myrtle, and it's by Snowden Becker. It's independently published. You can find it on Ravelry if you like. And it's knit in this yarn called Pagewood Farms Yukon, which is a wool bamboo nylon blend. It's a sock weight. I got the whole sweater out of 2 skeins. Not bad, huh? So like 810 yards. The colorway is Leaf, which is a semi-solid green, but it's not enough variegation to obscure the lace pattern. So yeah, that's the thing about, I don't really like using highly variegated yarns unless it's like a straight stockinette or something, because I feel like it doesn't let your stitches really sing. So yeah, and what else? So this one, oh yeah, the yarn is really nice. I mean, it's very like soft, silky, you know, not too warm kind of thing. And I knit this back in 2010, and it took me 4 weeks to knit. Isn't bad for an all-over lace thing like this. I'll show you the back. All-over lace. So it does take a fair amount of concentration, and this one is a little bit tricky because it's an asymmetric lace pattern, and what that means is as you're shaping the sweater, doing your increases and decreases, your lace pattern gets periodically messed up, so you have to do some additional increases and decreases to compensate. But I persevered, and the only mod I made is I moved up the scoop neck a little bit, so I started the neck at the same time I joined the sleeves, because I just wanted it to be like, well, work appropriate basically. And I love the elbow length sleeves, really cute. And I love these buttons down all the buttons down the center. Gives a nice sort of like vintage look, I think, with these metal like nickel buttons. And you do have to wear something under it though, because it's like, you know, I'm just wearing like a camisole here, but it's all over lace. So, I mean, I guess if you were really daring, you could just go with a bra, but I'm a little more modest than that. And I love the trim here, this like eyelet trim, and it's on the hem as well. And this was the first sweater that I knit in fingering weight, but I've definitely knit some other ones since then, because it's so nice and lightweight. You know, it's more like the stuff you can buy from the store, and it's very versatile. You know, fits under coats and stuff. So I do love knitting sweaters in fingering weight, though it does take longer. So that's it for my knitting. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in a few weeks. Bye!